Alright, so good day to everyone. For today's asynchronous session is nothing fancy. Today we'll just discuss a awareness on interplanetary economics. I will be your instructor for today. If you have any questions or concern, just chat me up and I will respond to your queries. For today's objective is to bring awareness on the significance of interplanetary economics. We'll begin with the terminologies and then proceed with the rationale of it and some expected economics phenomena. And then that's that. So first and foremost is to set some terminologies so that we are on the same page. So of course, we have to understand economics. It comes from the Greek word economia, or meaning household management. And then as time goes by, it matures into economics, which is resource management. The terminology or definitions that we will adopt for this course is the one that was best described by Mankiw, which is economics is the study of how a society manages its scarce resources. Now, I believe we have discussed this three. We have three branches in economics, actually two, micro and macro. And this mesoeconomics, this is just a rising. It's not yet formal. That's why it is in bracket. Okay, so again, if we're talking about formal branches of economics, micro and macro, what is something that is not yet formal, something that's not yet accepted in the scholarly world, it's mesoeconomics, not yet accepted. All right, so in microeconomics, it talks about how household management of resources. So it talks about the market, the supply and demand, the individual and the business sector. In mesoeconomics, this attempts to understand how one industry interacts with another industry, how community interacts with another community. Okay. And in macroeconomics, it is how country management of resources. It is how the nation or national economics is being monitored, and how a nation interacts with one nation to another. Now, if we are going to sum all of these things, let's say for the whole world, is what's it called the planetary economics, is or how the whole planet is being managed, the resources in the whole planet. Right now, our attempt to manage that is through the United Nations. Okay. Although we have the nations, okay, we know that international trade is a trade between two or more nations inside the planet, probably, or it can be also outside the planet, right? That is why we have, aside from international trade, we also have interplanetary trade between two or more planets, and interstellar trade between two or more stellar systems. So with that establishment of the terminologies, we now proceed to the rationale. Why do we push on this kind of topic? So can't we just stay with just learning microeconomics, right? I mean, we already have macroeconomics, right? But because the trend right now is not to be staying small, but to go outside the planet. That's why if you have the questions, why do we have to go beyond? I mean, we have already a lot of problems in here, right? We have problem in drought, we have problem in poverty, not to mention COVID, right? This can be best answered with another question. Is it sustainable for the baby to stay in the womb? Okay, of course not, right? The baby have to go outside the world, and when time comes, when the baby matures, okay. Same goes with the humanity, right? The earth is the cradle of humanity, but mankind cannot stay in the cradle forever. Konstantin Tsiolkovsky, that is a Russian father of rocketry, said that. And he is very true on this one. His statement is facts. We cannot stay in planet Earth, if you look at it. We have to go outside. To best understand what Professor Konstantin Tsiolkovsky's statement, let's study the case of Earth and Mars mission. If you can remember our discussion, Earth have a constant population growth. Because actually the people have constant population growth. Actually, it's not constant, it's growing on its own. And Earth's food production is also growing, but there's what point that the food production is beyond the population growth. We call that Malthusian point. But if we are going to add Mars food production, we will incur a new Malthusian point. You can also grab this opportunity in terms of production possibility frontier. If we will add Mars to our assets, right, to our capacity, not only as a person but as a whole, okay, our possibility of production, whether that's a capital good or consumer good, it will increase. Okay, so although the reward is true, there are some challenges we have to surpass before reaping these rewards. According to Ms. Sullivan, we can only create a trade when there is an abundance, or when there's an abundance of useful things in the first place. What she is trying to say is that, for example, if we are going to sell water to Mars, the transportation cost is $1 billion. Although we can mine a lot of valuable resources, but if its cost is it's nothing much, 1K also, then why do we have to go outside if it's cheaper locally, right? I mean, yes, it's a profit, it's not a loss, but still, why do we have to go outside? Because there is one resources that we can create locally, and that is land. The factors of production, okay, land is fixed. Labor increases, it can change as population increases, of course. Capital goods increases due to technology, and entrepreneurial output increases due to education. But land, no one can create soil out of nothing, right? You cannot duplicate soil. You cannot repopulate soil. Soil is fixed. Countries saw that the value of land, but they cannot just grab another land from other countries. That's why there are a lot of dispute right now in the world. We are very much aware with West Philippine Sea, but in the whole world there are way a lot of territorial dispute because of land is very precious. That is why many countries saw the best way is to race to Mars, because this is politically and legally acceptable way to grab extra land. Okay, we have from America, Russia, Europe, Japan, and of course us, the Philippines. Right now we are not much, we do not have much rockets, but we do participate in some aspect on it. And should Mars become habitable, where there is an abundance of water and oxygen, they plan that by 2070. That's just near. It's just near. You can reach that. Cities will be established, of course. Actually, before it can even be have abundant, they plan to create cities in 2040. And when that happens, of course, economy will start a full swing. More so, of course, if technology in mobility develops and makes transportation cost very cheap. So for today's activity, I would like to ask a question for everyone to ponder. How can the Philippines participate in this race toward the interplanetary economics? Small or big, I would like you to comment your insights. That's that.